Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Drop-In Morning Show. It is Friday, February 4th, and we are recapping the week. Brad Hughes is here. We have a good news story for the day. The holidays looked extra funny today, so get excited for that. And then, of course, we are going to wrap up our conversation that we've been having all week and continue to not only celebrate all the incredible guests that have been on the show, but preview who's on next week as well. Please go fill up your coffee. Mine is very warm. It is burning my hand, and we will be right back. Morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Brad Hughes, how are you?
Ray Hewart, happy Friday to you. I'm doing well. Looking forward to a Friday together with you, friend. Looking forward to an energy boost and some good news, some happiness, some shop talk, and some shenanigans. I'm here for it all.
So fun. Yeah, I know everybody's had a little bit of a crazy week weather-wise. Or not everyone, but I heard a big chunk of educators in our community did. Looks like Lori has a snow day and
a birthday.
Woo!
Amazing.
Love it. Hey, Lori, happy birthday. We're so thrilled you stopped in this morning to say hi. So we can wish you a happy birthday. It's always good to celebrate.
Celebrations are what we're all about, especially on a Friday, wrapping up a great week here on the Daily Drop-In, wrapping up what I'm sure is a busy week for our educators. Educators in my district, Ray, are doing term one report cards right now. So in addition to the great teaching, they're also gathering all of that data and putting the finishing touches on some great reports to communicate what kids are learning and still need to learn to our families. So lots of energy being expended. This is a great time to celebrate and recoup some of it as we head into the weekend.
Brad, I think that we need a birthday little video or a birthday song, because there's always a birthday in the Teach Better community. I mean, with how large we are, it seems like there's always someone's birthday happening. So when they comment or they pop in special, I think we should find a way to put confetti on the screen, or there should be a song or something, you know?
Ray, I guess I'm a little bit disappointed that our production assistants, our Teach Better production assistants, haven't yet rigged the overhead ceiling confetti or the balloons to pop down or the light show. We're still working on that. We've got some union issues with our PAs at this time, and I can't go into details, but we'll get things worked out, right?
You know, they did make my coffee too hot this morning, so I think we're just struggling all around. It's Kyle's birthday too. See, Andrea, tell Kyle we say happy birthday. Okay, I will say good morning, everyone. I will say, Brad, there's some features on our end, on the back end. We stream through a company called StreamYard, and this new feature is that you can play music in the background while we're still talking. So maybe like this one, I don't know what any of these sound like, just to confirm. But one of them here is called Dance Pop. Maybe that's like a birthday tune. Let me click it. What is this one, do you think?
Here we go.
Dance Pop. I'm not up. Slowly. I don't think this is upbeat enough.
The slow build. No, it's good. Slow build. It's coming.
Here we go. Is that like...
Drop it. Yep.
We need something like that for Lori. We are committing to figuring it out. You are our birthday inspiration. Good morning. Good morning.
Lori and Kyle, I think this is our real opportunity to dig into the Teach Better sound files and house music. Exactly, Andrea. We can have our own curated house music here with DJ Ray and MC Brad, and we can have a dance party to celebrate. But I think we'll dig into the DDI sound files, Ray, and just have some, some of the, I'm thinking sounds like birthday blowers and streamers and the noisemakers. We'll find them. I
love it. See, just, you know what? This will be our fun little focus for the week or the day and the weekend. So we'll figure it out, Lori. We'll have a birthday celebration for you. That'll be so fun. I love that. Brad, how was your week? I know you guys had a snow day yesterday, right?
Yeah, we did. District schools were closed. School buses were off the roads yesterday, Ray. We've had sort of a 2-day snow event here in Southern Ontario. And I know that weather event is shifting east to our eastern states. And they have some heavy icing ahead of them today, and our maritime provinces do today into the weekend. So district was closed yesterday. Schools shifted to online learning opportunities, virtual learning opportunities through Google Classroom. And I was saying before we went on air, it's a Friday, but it feels a bit like a Monday after a day with school closure. We'll put things back together and have a warm welcome out for the staff and the students today.
Yeah, definitely. As everybody is continuing through their week, please be safe. I know a lot of schools are headed back today after some winter storms. I know a lot of schools are still closed today. So take your time, drive slowly on the roads. I did talk to somebody who was living in like an apartment complex, and they had not had any plows for the last 3 days come through their community. And they were joking. They were like, there's no way I can get my car out. They got almost 12 inches, 15 inches. They're like, the snow is like above the car. There's no way.
I just got a text from a colleague who works in a rural area, Ray, and she's in the same boat this morning. She can't get out of her neighborhood because of the snow. So, yeah, we accommodate for that, and we show grace, patience, and understanding, because these are things that are outside of our sphere of influence, outside of our control. So we just we weather these changes, and we work with them.
I love it. So good. Please, if you need anything, if anyone's hearing anything and it would be helpful in any way, the Teach Better community does always value being updated. And if there's anything we can do, we'd love to support. But I did get a little chuckle because I've been watching Joshua Stamper on social media quite closely because, spoiler alert, friends, he got a puppy. So therefore, he's on my radar to check in on every so often, not only the stress of the puppy, but I mean, come on, the puppy's adorable, 8-week-old puppy. And they got snow yesterday in Texas. So I thought that was so fun that the puppy and the whole family was able to take some photos out in the snow.
Exactly. What a cool thing for the new puppy to experience, snow in Texas, and the family's experiencing, a tremendous surprise and lots of excitement with the puppy. And then the surprise snowfall, just icing on the cake.
So fun. So fun. For everybody who is heading into their Friday, happy Friday. Brad, we had a whole week of conversations this week on Daily Drop-In. We obviously have more coming next week because in some regard, this is the show that never ends. But there's some good stuff to be able to discuss. I think we should get into some good news this morning because I not only played this sound twice on yesterday's show because I just apparently love it so much, but also there are some really strange holidays and a really strange good news article that we have for everyone. That's the rumor around town, at least.
Yeah, I've got a good story squirreled away this morning, Ray. So we'll get to it after this brief timeout.
Brief timeout. Morning, everybody. We are thrilled to welcome you to your morning. It is Friday, February 4th, and as you are getting up, brushing your teeth, maybe heading into work, we're thrilled to be a part of your morning. Or if you are listening to this after the fact, maybe it's a recording on YouTube you're watching after the fact, or you're listening on your drive home at Teach Better Talk podcast. We just appreciate that you're here. We love our community, and we make sure that we are here for daily drop-in to not only be a part of your day today, but also add that consistency. And in this segment, our consistency is all about a few giggles and some good news stories. So, Brad, the debate every single week is, do we do holidays before the article? I won't lie, I'm super excited about the article. So are we still holding off? Are we doing holidays first? Or are we getting into the article?
I like the rhythm of our holidays and article every Friday, Ray. That seems right to me.
Every day when I ask you that, you break my heart and tell me we got to do holidays first. So that's fine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Brad, there are some weird holidays this morning that I think might apply to, of course, our students, which is kind of fun being able to bring some goofy holidays to them as they enter into your classroom. But I will say, I think I can find some humor in these with your family or even with your colleagues today. The first is National Bubblegum Day. How do you feel about bubblegum, Brad Hughes?
Anytime I can choose bubblegum, Ray, I will go for it right off the shelf into my mouth. Fantastic.
I love it. See, and this image with the bubble gum is all the colored little circles that you can get out of the machine. That's always the bubble gum that looks the most exciting to eat, but only has flavor for like 0.2 seconds.
That's right. 0.2 seconds later, and it's like, oh, what is this in my mouth? I'm dating myself, but I remember a very influential commercial message by Hubba Bubba when nonstick bubblegum first came on the market. Two bubblegum gunslingers faced off on a dusty road in a ghost town, and the gunslinger that was eliminated left with a mess of bubble gum all over his face, to the delight of the old coot who had the nonstick bubble gum. And I'm not sure if you remember, but the name of that gunslinger that was defeated was Lockjaw, and he was so hard to chew. The old coot said, "Lockjaw got Rockjaw," and then Hubba Bubba was born.
That is a great reminder that we need to go Google that, because I have no idea what you're talking about. But maybe people in the comments do, Brad. I mean, you are always giving us such good stories that I'm like, oh, I can visualize it. I just have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's also, I mean, I appreciate you being willing to, hang out with an elder on Friday mornings, Ray.
Oh,
That's all. I mean, just the companionship, the company. When you get to my age, it really is a gift. So I thank you for that.
you're such a jerk, Brad. Just kidding. Happy Friday, everyone. I do love Laura's in the comments this morning. She's noting that she usually catches the show after the fact, and now she gets to be here this morning live because of a snow day. And Laura, we're glad that you're here, but I'm also very appreciative that you get to hear Brad's puns live. I mean, this is really what it's all about. So fun. In addition to National Bubblegum Day, it is also, and I think we need this more than ever, I'm not sure how to do this, but I'd love to hear your ideas of how to do this in the comments. It is World Thank Your Mail Carrier Day. And I would love to hear how everybody around our communities has maybe an idea of how they can thank their mail carrier, whether you're able to do it today, or maybe you can put it on the to-do list with a little bit of preparation this weekend, put on your to-do list for Monday. But what can we do to add that extra bit of thank you to our mail carriers? That is definitely something earned and something worth taking some time to consider. Brad, do you have any ideas on how we can do that?
Our mail carrier at school, Ray, we love the energy she brings in. So whenever she comes in the door and I'm in the area, I make a point of thanking her for her great work and letting her know. I let her know the day before last that we appreciated the positive energy that she brought in. She said that she'd been off for 2 weeks, and because of staff shortages, no one had sort of picked up her route. So when she came in, and she said when she looked at her haul of things to deliver, she was just nearly fainted with all of the packages, parcels, and letters that were on her slate. But just that's it for us. Just take an opportunity to let people know that they're appreciated. Goes a long way.
That. Yeah, eye contact, smile, sharing of appreciation, one of the many ways. So powerful. It's interesting, Brad. I feel like you knew about this holiday because this holiday here is World Wear Red Day, and you are wearing red this morning, friend.
I am, and we're celebrating the beginning of the Olympic Games, and we have a red and white day to cheer on Team Canada at Forest Hill School today. So yeah, wear red day. It was a happy accident.
I love it. See, there you go. On the flip side, I said earlier that I'm going to go back to make sure I pronounce it. It's National Bubblegum Day, which, obviously this is a good reminder, but later on it reminds us it is also World Bubblegum Day. So I apologize. I did not represent all of the bubblegum celebration that will be had today, which is very exciting.
Yeah, I just got a text from South America here, Ray, that was chastising us for not recognizing that it was International Bubblegum Day. But I'm glad that you recovered there, and I'm just really grateful that we didn't blow it.
I'm glad we didn't blow it. On the flip side, this is one that we can all value. It is also World Give Kids a Smile Day. So as you are walking through your halls, as you are continuing throughout your day, even with a mask, it is always a smile really can shine through. So give a kid a smile day. What a great thing to be able to celebrate as you head throughout your morning this morning.
It sure is. It's a huge way to connect. It's a huge way to relieve stress. And when you can notice the sparkle, the twinkle in a kid's eyes where they're smiling at you, just name it. Say, I can see your smile right through your mask. And that tends to minimize the interruption that the masks can give in terms of our face-to-face communication, just by recognizing that we also smile with our eyes and softening our eyes. And like, as you said, just gently maintaining eye contact. Just those moments are really precious and really special and really important to reduce stress in your environment and also to build connection.
So important. It's amazing how powerful a smile is. It's such a good reminder for today.
Indeed.
Brad, we have a good news story that I heard was combining my two ultimate favorite things, which is squirrels and space. Is that true?
It's true. And I've got quite a tale to share with you about, it involves ground squirrels. And the headline is, what wintering squirrels can teach astronauts. And I'm really nuts about this story, Ray. I'll get right into it from goodnewsnetwork.org. Wondering what, ground squirrels and other hibernating animals can teach us. Well, of course, they stop eating in the winter. They go into torpor. They last till spring simply on fat reserve they stored up in their bodies. Normally, this amount of fasting in an activity would significantly reduce the mass and function of muscle. But hibernators don't suffer this fate. So there are implications for space travel and working and living in space. Université de Montréal biologist has figured out why, and his findings could have implications for all things the future of space travel, having to do with the metabolic trick of the gut microbes in the hibernating animals to recycle the nitrogen to keep muscle tone and to keep muscle, or to prevent muscle loss. And so theoretically, astronauts could minimize their own muscle loss problems using this research as a springboard. And I think it's just fascinating. The answers are closer than we might think, and the answers for health, safety, and vigor in space are just right up the nearest tree.
Isn't it amazing that technology? I can't believe that still every single day there's not only a great news story. There's so many good news to celebrate. It's such a nice reminder about that every single morning in the show. But also, holy moly, the things that people are thinking through, the ideas that scientists and other creative minds are having to try and solve very complex problems in our world is so inspiring to me. I think that's so exciting.
The scientists go on to say how important it is that squirrels and other hibernating animals are able to emerge with energy in the spring, because in the spring that's when they are looking for mates and they're looking to procreate and increase the squirrel population. Ray, I think I would be out on a limb if I tried to make a connection between the mating habits of squirrels and what astronauts may need or do. I'm not a biologist in that, but I think I'll just leave it right there and say that maintaining muscle mass and high energy is important for all living things, whether or not you're on the ground or in space.
I love it. We had Holly Stewart on the show yesterday, and she is a science guru. I know she's enjoying all the fun anytime we can talk about science. And just to confirm, that is the Holly Stewart, for those of you who are aware of Holly Stewart.
Yeah, in Canada we say the Holly Stewart. It's just a slight pronunciation change there. Yeah,
Makes sense. Brad, let's get into our brainstorm bank. Let's continue to not only discuss the theme this week, but also recap the conversations we've been having so far.
sounds great.
Good morning, friends. We are thrilled that you are joining us, whether you're joining us live, which we always appreciate. There's been so many comments this morning, and we
Right?
love good morning to everybody that's here. But also, if you're watching after the fact, we appreciate you. We're so appreciative that our community chooses to be active, not only in the daily drop-in morning show when we're live, but also just as you continue throughout your day when it's convenient to be able to come together with this community and maybe giggle a little bit, have some food for thought, some reminders about how we can continue to be better today than we were yesterday and better tomorrow than we were today. It's just so powerful. So thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do. Brad, this is a time that we get to do every single morning with our brainstorm bank, where we get to ask our community if they need anything. It's a great time to add questions or comments into our live stream, into our live chat, but also discuss our weekly theme. What were your thoughts on this week's theme?
This week's theme: reinvigorating parent and caregiver communication, and that stakeholder communication is key to student success, and it can also be a key, Ray, as was revealed with a number of our guests. It can be key to improve satisfaction in our work when we feel and position parents and caregivers as partners, and when we're able to be vulnerable, real, and empathetic in communication with them. It can actually improve our job satisfaction because we feel, or we strive to feel, understood, and we seek to understand their points of view as well. And it's all for the benefit of the kids that we serve.
I love that reminder. I think when we think of parent communication, at least I did earlier in my career. And when I say earlier, I mean like truly just a few years ago, I had this realization that parents can truly be allies, and how important it is to not just say that we are valuing parents as stakeholders, but actually see the power of seeing that in action, the power in being able to provide that to our students. To be fully transparent, parents scared the bejeebers out of me for the majority of my career. I really felt judged by parents. I felt like it was another thing on my to-do list. And I really wanted to do right by them because I knew that they were sending their most prized possession to learn from my classroom. But I also knew the weight that carried and the stress that may carry in their worlds. And I really carried that weight myself moving forward. And it was so nice this week to get reminders that not only parents can be allies in this conversation, but how parent communication can actually help us, how it can be a sustainable stream of brainstorming with that incredible organization, that incredible group in our students' lives, and worked into our routine versus something that teachers have to carry the stress of making sure it occurs, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. And your reflection makes me wonder too, Ray, if there's an empathy piece that we may be missing. That is, we anticipate stress of parents sending their kids to us in our care. I wonder if the flip is also true for parents and caregivers, and maybe parents and caregivers that are watching and listening right now or are listening later can let us know. I mean, is there also stress involved sending your child to another adult? I mean, the kids are in the care of other adults for a good part of the day, and there could be a sense of vulnerability, a sense of loss, a sense of confusion. I mean, anything that we can do to be proactive about communication and to really reassure and be empathetic, building those bridges with parents and caregivers, recognizing, hey, it's stressful to send your kid to school to an adult that you don't know well yet. So, what can I do to reassure you that your kid's in excellent hands? And if there are setbacks, we're going to address them. And if there are successes, we're going to celebrate them.
Yeah, Brett, I think there's two things I'd love to dive into very much related to that. Jillian kind of is transitioning us perfectly, is that she notes she's never had a negative experience with families. We're truly partners. And I love this concept because this is my experience too. Of course, every year there's one conversation that is seemingly uncomfortable that does, add stress to our lives. But to be honest, I mean, geez, in 1 year, you're in contact with families over 600 times. And I carry the weight and the stress of one of those phone calls not going the way I wanted. I think we need that reminder that most often, especially when I remember the stress of walking over to the classroom phone and picking up the classroom phone and typing in the number correctly and breathing deeply and waiting for the parent to answer. And then the reality is it's just another human being on the other side of the phone that is excited to hear about whatever's going on, to be a brainstorm partner and to continue to be a part of that child's experience being successful. And there's been so many countless conversations with parents that were so just powerful and positive that, a great reminder that those can be very important, but also just kind of an ego boost as well to teachers. How many times do you call parents and they're like, "Oh, I just want to let you know you're doing a great job." I mean, how good is it to feel as a teacher that encouragement as well?
It really is. And when we can position curiosity and observation as powerful tools to initiate those conversations, then gradually, as we gather confidence and as we prove to ourselves that these conversations can go well and can be successful, eventually I think we can get to the point where, yeah, picking up the phone is stressful and there's that that hitch in your breath and the heartbeat raises, and and especially if it's a parent that you don't know well, or if it's a parent where a parent or caregiver where the narrative from other staff members is, oh, watch out, you better watch out when you pick up that phone. Those narratives can be really, really harmful, really, really dangerous. And I won't get sidetracked on those. I'll get back to, the preparation. But whenever we can begin a conversation with the words, I'm noticing or I'm wondering, it allows the parent to exercise his or her observations themselves and their insight into their child to help you fill in the missing pieces. We don't want to start off with a stance of knowing. We don't want to start off with a stance of punition. We want to start off with a stance of curiosity. Here's what I'm noticing. Can you help me understand what might be going on? Do you have any recommendations? And again, all boiling down to relationships. Ask a parent, do you have any recommendations where I can build a stronger relationship with your child or with you to resolve this difficulty?
Yeah, Laura in the comments is saying, I try to remember that parents are giving us the best they have to give their child. Helps me frame conversations. I love that. Brad, one of the saving graces that I truly believe was helpful for me, and I know that every single educator is going to have their own strategy, right? That helps them be successful. But a huge game changer for me personally was approaching parent communication like I approached everything else, where it was planned and strategic. And I think that right now, but in addition to many educators prior to the pandemic, really saw communication as an additional thing on their to-do list. When you can fold in parent communication in whatever capacity, I think it does lift a little of that weight. And so I'd love to kind of conclude this week of our kind of recapping the week, but also sharing our ideas to really ask our community, is there something that you're already doing that we can somehow transition into also a way to foster parent communication? Because transparency and that consistent routine, which we talked about yesterday, of communication is actually one of the most positive steps forward to ensure that your parents feel up to speed on whatever's going on. So I guess everybody has their own way of doing that. But Brad, for me, it was that students goal set and reflect at the end of every single day. And it was easy to connect that tech tool that they were using to do that to their parents' version on their own app or on their own phone or on their own computer, which really gave like a 3 to 5 minute summary of the student's day right on their phone every single day. And we're talking about 11-year-olds talking about how their math class went, but it really did open kind of like a portal for them to be able to see what their student was experiencing. And that freedom, that permission to have that portal really was the ease in terms of stress.
Rich possibilities are just going through my mind as you talk about that, Ray. The possibility for your 11-year-olds to consolidate their learning in written form for a specific audience at the end of the day, huge opportunities there. Positioning children as the gatekeepers, the conduits of the communication between home and school. So it reduces the pressure of teacher and parent, or even teacher versus parent. And let's face it, in the best of times, if we have gaps in communication, only a few people will fill in those gaps with the best assumptions, the assumption that everyone is doing the best they can. In stressful times, in critical times like this, people will fill in missing information with assumptions, often false assumptions, and worst case scenarios. And then by the time you pick up the phone, you're unaware of it, but the emotions are inflamed already. There's been a lack of communication, maybe not intentional on your part, but it's not what we intend, it's what the impact is. And frequently the impact is people will fill in gaps in information with worst case scenarios or false assumptions. And then the risk is that if we do not communicate proactively, then we are contributing to a culture where that is the norm in your class community. And almost every interaction can be fraught with tension in spite of our best efforts to do just the opposite.
Brad, it's so interesting. You've shared so much, but something that you noted specifically was using our students as a conduit, the gatekeeper of that communication. You and I have had this conversation a few different times in Admin Mastermind around the concept that sometimes we need to teach our audience how to do something where we see it successful. I think teaching our students how to communicate with parents, giving them the tools to be successful, is a part of that. For me at the time, it was using a technology tool where they were reflecting either in a typed form, in a written form, or in a video, which I always loved when students were able to make a video of themselves that went to report to their parents in that moment. So it's the most authentic snapshot because it literally just occurred and we're getting their thoughts and opinions right then and there. Another option is to have them, fill out some sort of template to practice, 8 hours from now, when I describe this to my parents, how can I describe it most authentically? More often than not, we send our students home and the parents say, "Hey, what'd you do today?" And the kid says, "Nothing." And, we haven't necessarily prepared them to be able to answer that question with success and with great detail. So, some of those, again, structures that we can put in place to help everybody be successful is always wonderful. I love the comment that you showed about Brian making positive phone calls. Shout out to those positive phone calls. Holy moly. Those are always wonderful to do. Great challenge for yourself, Brian.
Ray, I was thinking about the way that your communication routines primed kids to be excited to share more at school. And so again, so many rich things are happening. You're preparing your kids for success, and you're preparing your kids for positive communication about school when they get home. The other thing that, as content creators ourselves, bloggers and creators of, podcasts and other content, I we believe that we write and speak our worlds into existence. And so you're giving your kids an opportunity through writing, through language, through reflection. You're actually building an inner soundtrack of positive affiliation with school, and you're also building a positive self-concept about what they're learning, how they're succeeding, and finally, you're empowering them to be able to communicate their successes and to do goal setting. All like, okay, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Love it.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear everyone's version of how they can maintain and sustain parent communication. And this is a great time to refresh. I mean, Brad, I was just talking to an educator yesterday in a meeting that just very forwardly was like, February is the worst month in school. And I think the reality is that every educator has their own month that they feel might be the most stressful. But regardless, this year has been incredible with the roller coasters that we've been down. And I think it can be daunting to look at maybe a month that we already have this label, preconceived notion to say February is going to be terrible, but we're reflecting on January. Maybe January was extra challenging. So that doesn't give us much hope. And if we can look at our routines, the fundamentals of our classroom, and make sure that those pillars are strong, I think it gives us a little glimmer of hope to ensure that we are going to reach a more positive outcome moving forward.
I thoroughly agree, Ray. And I often say that hope is a wish plus a plan. So a wish is a little bit of a different thing than should or ought. But if we can identify, as we do goal setting ourselves, as we turn the calendar page from January to February, I wish this aspect of something in our working life or personal life or family life, I wish something was a little bit different, and then match it to a plan. What would it take? What's my best next step to make a small but positive change to turn that wish into reality? Hope is a wish plus a plan.
A wish plus a plan. I'm a fan.
Right on.
Brad, we are going to recap not only our week, but I also want to preview kind of where we're headed next week, in addition to obviously celebrating all the people in the comments sharing
Right?
their ideas.
Comments are fire.
I
My
love it.
monitor is smoking right now with all the comments. I can't keep up.
We do love when you guys are live with us, and we always value your comments, especially your ideas. We know we can't feature every single one of you live on camera with us every day, so being an active participant in the comments and not simply a consumer is always celebrated. So thank you all for being here. We are going to continue to move in this direction as we get into our weekly recap and also our preview for this upcoming week. So don't go anywhere. Our favorite song, Brett. It always makes me happy, and for whatever reason, always surprises me how much I like that song.
It's incredible. I love it too. In between segments, the camera's off, and I'm just kind of moving. Like it's wrapping up the Friday. It's really good. I'm enjoying it.
See, maybe that's a song that we also need to have a version that we can play in the background, because I feel like that song gets you going. And then obviously the birthday song from this morning we've been talking about. We need some sort of birthday something. I would love if, I know we can't because it cuts off, but like below at the bottom in the center,
Yep.
I'd love to find a way for it to like blow confetti for someone's birthday. Don't you think?
There's got to be a way to do that. There's so many banners and we'll find a way to do it.
Something, right? Because we have a lot of versions here on the back end. We're going to get sidetracked for a second. We have like the ability to change the colors, which I understand we typically don't do. We have the ability to change these bubbles here to look different, right? That's all the buttons. We obviously have our background here, and then we have all these video clips. The video clips take over the screen, right? That's kind of like the one we just played. And then we have these songs, which, okay, also, can we talk about these songs that are brand new? I played Dance Pop earlier, not my favorite. This one is called Feeding the Ducks. What do you think that sounds like?
The only thing that came to mind is a chicken dance, but I'm looking forward to hearing it.
All right, I just want to click it. Like, what do you think this sounds like, Feeding the Ducks? not my favorite. Not bad. What's rock? Let's do this really quick.
Yeah.
Rock? Hold on.
It's the Daily Drop-In with Brad and Ray, Friday mornings on the Teach Better Live Network.
I feel like that one's closer to what we need. We need some high energy here on the Daily Drop-In. It's too early to get these like this one's called night driving. That's a terrible idea, night driving. That's going to put me to sleep.
You're with the Daily Drop-In with Brad and Ray, a soothing way to start your Friday.
Terrible.
No.
Terrible. What were we doing? Were we doing something?
Shenanigans, Ray. I think we were recapping the week and looking ahead to next week. We had a wonderful recap with comments that were on fire today. Thanks to everybody. And thank you for writing our episode into existence with your comments. It was amazing. And we're looking ahead to next week with special guests and a new theme.
All right, let's do a recap then. Happy Friday. It is Friday, February 4th, and we had a full week of shows. For those of you that may not have been able to join us, the show on Monday was something extra special that we're excited to bring you every other Monday because we were able to announce some incredible featured speakers for the Teach Better Conference. And I need to be very careful during this segment to make sure that I say the right information because the spoilers are hot. But as many of you may have heard, and we will continue to do for the next 14 weeks, we have massive announcements taking place related to the Teach Better Conference, which if you are unfamiliar, you can see all the details at teachbetterconference.com. We are excited to not only share 2 speakers with you this week, but we also are excited to release our silhouette image that many of you have seen. And with that silhouette image, slowly but surely, the silhouettes of the speakers, the initial lineup will be released over the next 14 weeks. If you are interested in adding your face to that silhouette as a featured speaker at the Teach Better Conference, you do have an opportunity to do that. And we are so stinking excited to open that up on March 1st. So for those of you who may not have joined Monday's show, here was the big release. We are so excited to welcome Alexis Shepard and Jed Derryberry as our first 2 featured speakers of the Teach Better Conference. So that was the big thing that we talked about on Monday, Brad.
Huge win for Teach Better Conference. Huge win for anyone who plans to attend. Those 2 guests are going to bring energy. They're going to bring compassion. They're going to bring inclusion. Every one of these guests that we're going to reveal, and I agree that I want to drop these spoilers like they're hot, and the energy, like I can just feel the energy when you're sharing your excitement with them. But value added with every single guest and speaker. I have to tell you that the care and the diligence and the intention with which Katie Miglin and our conference team have been pouring into bringing the best of the best to you, and it's amazing. The best of the best, just like reaching out to parents, Ray. They're just people with awesome things to share, just like every educator that will attend. So can't wait to get into dig in with each and every one of our guests.
I do always appreciate when you are all guessing our speakers as well. That silhouette image went out via email on Monday, and I can't tell you, Brad, how many guesses we got. Lots of correct guesses, lots of incorrect guesses. I didn't see a single person that was able to guess the whole image yet of the faces we'll be releasing, but we did give a little spoiler on Monday that Dave and Jeff, Chad, and I are all on the silhouettes to try and mess up your guesses. But obviously you will be able to see everyone with the Teach Better team at the Teach Better Conference in October. Brad, I am so excited to not only see you in person, but also attend your session and celebrate you. So it's going to be such a good time.
I'm excited, Ray, honored to be contributing in a number of different ways to the conference. And again, the opportunity to meet my Teach Better colleagues and meet all of our Teach Better family in person. It's like #Glee. That's it. That's all I can see. I'm just gleeful about it.
If you guys are interested in learning more about Alexis and Jed, who were just announced on Monday, you absolutely can catch them live. I'll be live with Alexis next Monday, this coming Monday in the evening. streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn, just like our Daily Drop-In morning show. And then Jed Derryberry will be joining Daily Drop-In on Tuesday next week. So we'll get to that in a minute, but it was really fun to be able to do that. On Tuesday, then, we had another friend join us on the 1st. And if you remember, it was Jessica Reed, who is an ambassador. She was able to lend her insight, and it was always fun to be able to feature Jessica on the show.
Incredible guest, incredible energy, and again, just true compassion and a true community builder. I really enjoyed that episode.
So good. Wednesday, we had Dave live with Julie, who they just had an incredible conversation. I loved listening into that episode. And if you didn't catch Dave, you definitely want to go back and listen to that conversation because Julie killed it.
Yeah, I've got Julie's book right here. It came yesterday, and I'm going to be following up on a conversation about her book for the Good News, Bad News podcast with Julie. Really excited by what I heard. Bids for attention. That was a huge takeaway. So, kids are not necessarily attention seeking. They're making a bid for your attention. And the question is, why might they be making that bid? What connection are they seeking from you? So hugely excited to dig into that.
I love that when we bring on, new faces or familiar faces to the show, that people continue to not only have an opportunity to connect, but also gain resources. Getting Julie's book and continuing to have that be something that you get to not only consume, but then engage with, not only on the podcast, but in other ways as well. That's the whole point of the show, friends. Like, it's not about us being here in the hour in the morning, but us being able to really foster this community all day, all week long. That's so cool, Brad.
It's really cool, Ray, and it's a huge professional learning opportunity for me to dig into a book I'm excited about and actually have a chance to interact with the author of the book to share ideas and to share what makes them tick, what fires them up, and then to be able to ripple out and to amplify their great work to others. It's a wonderful process, and I'm grateful to be part of it.
I love it. On Thursday, then we had the one and only Holly Stewart with us, who also is a Teach Better ambassador. She was wonderful being able to have on the show yesterday, and I love any opportunity to giggle with Holly. So it was awesome.
Holly loves to giggle with us in the comments. There's just a small example right there too.
So fun. I love it. And then Brad, I don't know if you know this, but you and I are live right now. This is Friday.
This is live right now?
Right this moment. We're live.
On Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn?
Ooh, yeah, we just started that.
Outstanding. Our world media domination conquest plan is fully underway. I love it.
I love it. For those of you who are excited to tune in next week, we obviously have shared that Jed will be with us on Tuesday, but there are other guests joining us as well. Obviously, on Monday morning, the 7th, we will have Jeff Gargas with us as always, and that will be so fun. We will have Jed Derryberry joining us on Tuesday. For those of you that don't remember Jed, he was the one that we had on Daily Drop-In a few months ago, who was just like pulling books from all over. I mean, literally,
right.
My description of the episode was like, he'd reach up and a book would come. He'd reach to the side, a book would come. He'd reach down, a book would come. It was so funny. So I'm excited to have him back on the show on Tuesday.
I would love to see behind the scenes in Jed's home studio there. I imagine there's like a hoop with books just clipped there that he can reach and everything. Maybe he's got a trap door down there. I'm not sure, but it was certainly rich in resources and rich in conversation. And Jed has such a dear heart for learning and for connecting with kids. Can't wait for Tuesday.
I did joke with him that he must have had like 2 assistants in his recording space that were just handing him things. Like our obviously production team behind the camera fills up my coffee every morning. So.
I was going to say maybe you can ask Jed on Tuesday morning for their names. I mean, our production assistant staff. I mean, with the hot coffee and the lack of balloons descending from the ceiling, I think we're in for a change.
You're right. We got to hire. Okay. Posting is available. So if any of you want to be a part of our production team and arrive at Brad and my house bright and early in the morning so we can start the show at 6 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Eastern, we'll make it happen. It'll be great.
Must be willing to relocate to Naperville, Illinois and Waterloo, Ontario, Canada.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that bad here. I feel like,
No.
Yeah. Moving on from there, on Wednesday, we have Kim Strobel joining us. She has been a part of the Teach Better community for quite some time. It'll be great to be able to catch up with her. On Thursday, we have Robert Dunlap joining us, which will be a wonderful new face to join our community. And then Brad, we'll be live again together on the 11th to kick off almost Valentine's Day weekend, which is exciting.
I'm looking forward to another fantastic Friday with you, friend. And having that energy and anticipation of our Friday daily drop-ins really just helps me sail through the week. So I'm looking forward to it.
So fun. Our theme next week, moving beyond parent communication, is something that I think you'll all enjoy. Our theme is do what you love what you do. So I think there's going to be a lot of passion and good vibes next week being shared.
I wonder if that was an intentional theme as we lead up to Valentine's Day and expressions of, personal and community affection, Ray. I mean, when we do what we love and love what we do, it's almost like we don't work at all. So it's a wonderful way to get into the spirit.
I also always appreciate, I know that we can sometimes find positivity to be toxic if it's shared in a negative way, but I will say I think it's a wonderful opportunity next week we have to remind ourselves and also celebrate our friends' passions, right? It's always we're not saying that every element of your day today is going to be something that you love and enjoy and find satisfaction in, but can we find the silver lining? Can we find the moment in your day that brings a giggle to your day? And can we celebrate that a little bit? Just highlight it. It doesn't necessarily have to change every single component of the day, but make sure we are seeing the passion that does exist, because our teachers, even while struggling, as we all have continued to struggle over the last few years, there are things that we love and we have deep passion for, and it's going to be so fun to be able to ensure that we remember those components and celebrate those components in our friends.
100%. I'm going to be talking with Tim Stevenson, one of our Teach Better podcast network members. Going to be talking with him tomorrow for the Good News Bad News podcast. And Tim strongly believes that those small silver linings are all around us if we simply choose to be intentional about finding them and incorporating them into the spirit of the day. And he also truly believes, Ray, that it's not the what we do, but it's the why we do it. So if you are struggling, Tim would advise take some intentional time to reflect on the good work that you do and why you do it. And not just the whys, but he says also find your who, WHO. Who are the people around you? If you need a lift, who are the people around you that you can learn from and commiserate with? And who are your companions? And I'm very, very hopeful that Daily Drop-In provides that measure of encouragement, support, companionship, and helps people reflect on their why they do what they do and why it's so important.
Do you think next week can also go beyond education, but also just do what we love and love what we do in other capacities as well? Maybe we'll have some good recipes shared. Maybe we'll be able to talk about, puppies or bubble gum. I think that there's a lot of things we love.
Without a doubt. And the more we can recognize and celebrate the many, many facets that make us individuals and make us members of families and schools and communities, so much the better. I mean, I often say that in education, we are what we do, and we do so much more than teach. Anyway, I'll just leave it there. We do so much more than teach. So let's be intentional, Ray, next week about celebrating the much more that educators do and provide in their families and communities.
I love it. I love it. For those of you who are headed into a busy, maybe even a snowy Friday, we wish you a wonderful, wonderful day. I just have a feeling about this Friday, Brad. Friday, February 4th has a ring to it. I think today is going to be a good one.
I would just like to say and wish everyone may the 4th be with us today. And February the 4th is going to be a fantastic day because we're setting the intention now. It will be a great day. We will make it so. We will find the silver linings. We will find the small moments of joy and pleasure and uplift that we can. We're going to incorporate into our day. We're going to share it out, and we're going to encourage others to do the same, Ray. It's going to be a great day.
I love it. And what did we learn today? You got to eat bubble gum, give a smile, and there was something else.
Yeah, something about squirrels and space. Squirrels in space. I think that could be the. I mean, if I have a line in to my friends at Disney, I mean that could be the next great Muppet series. Squirrels in space. So
enjoy your last sips of coffee. Go enjoy a way to celebrate squirrels in space, and we'll see you on Monday. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out at any point in time. But we're excited for you to have the best Friday ever, and we will be starting again with you bright and early Monday morning, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch at 7 a.m. Eastern for Daily Drop-In.
See you then, friends.
See you later.